Scott, I apologise. It's January. Let's do this and get it out of the way first. You've done one bit of business already. Tell us about Oliver Son and what he can bring to you.
I think it's something the club have been tracking for a while, Oliver, and we bring him in to obviously compete for a position which we're probably a little bit light on. Got big quality and potential as well, so still an early stage of development in his game, and I feel that we can bring his game on. But like I said, an attacking fullback, physically very, very good. I'm really looking forward to working with him from the last 3 or 4 days since he's been around. Seems a very good boy, and obviously, like I said, watching him from afar is someone I'm really looking forward to working with.
Over a couple of seasons now, obviously before your time and in your time, there've been some signings that have been for the future, sort of development ones. Would you consider Oliver a right now kind of signing?
Yeah, I think so. I think, look, like anything, you're signing a player from abroad or never been in the league or in the division. There's elements that you'll have to see how he fits up to that. But we see a player here that can obviously add to us instantly and bring quality and affect us as a team. So yeah, that should be fine. I
don't think you'll have ever seen a transfer window like the last one. Do you expect it to be busy in January? Do you actually hope it's quite quiet?
I think like anything, Dan, that January comes and in January transfer windows, you probably have to be a bit reactive because you never know what's going to come available or what may leave. So while we all have the best of plans and then plans are going on in the background, we'll have to see how things transpire over this next month, which normally, like I said, is normally a tricky month. It's a tricky window, this one. Often, a lot of clubs don't want to let go of their best players, and that's how it is. So we'll obviously work, and like we have been now, we're working towards to see what we can bring in and see where we can improve things. And likewise, no doubt that some players will be leaving the club to go and get some more game time. The players will have not obviously got that in this short period.
Just as far as modern football is concerned, we see a lot now of head coach, and there's a recruitment team, and there's lots of people involved in the process. How different is that to when you were signing for clubs as a player and the manager might give you a bell and have a chat with you and be at the forefront of it?
Yeah, it's very different now. I think the game's evolved massively and there's a lot more channels and a lot more departments now. So yeah, for the good, of course. That definitely would have been a lot different when I was playing, or maybe even early on in my managerial career as well. So like you say, things evolve and things move forward, and certainly there's a big difference to what it used to be like.
How does it work for you practically? Do you flag up areas that you want to look at and kind of leave it with them to get back to you?
No, we're just always stay in close contact and communication. All departments, what are recruitment departments, scouting departments, and obviously from my side, what I feel the team need, we just stay in them tight communications and then try and come up with and identifying the best players that we see fit or are good for us. So yeah, them lines are always open and they're always conversations that we're always having.
I listened to your interview, it was yesterday, wasn't it? And this time of year is crazy. You used the word spark a couple of times, and just that little final piece being required was the feeling that I got. Would it be not too big a leap to suggest that that'll be something you will be trying to address in January at that top end of the pitch?
I don't think it was. No, I don't think yesterday's game was anything to do with personnel or certain personnel. It was a game where we just lacked a little bit. Now that could come down to schedule. It could have just been the way the game fell. I often said then that human beings, this is you're in a business which is human driven, and sometimes as human beings you can have off days. And I think probably it's fair to say yesterday we just was a little bit short and maybe lacked a little bit of spark. Didn't really, while we created some sort of pressure, we didn't really cut open the team or generate real pressure. We have a massive chance at the end, which but I think overall, like I said, I think it's fair to say that we probably just lacked a little something last night or yesterday.
Just on the transfer front, is there anything in progress? Is there anything that you're expecting to happen anytime soon, or is it inquiries and interest at the minute?
Yeah, that's just exactly where it is. Nothing to happen imminently. just getting our heads down and working out what we need to do.
I've only got one name to throw at you, and then I'll stop. There's been quite a lot of talk about a potential return for Ashley Barnes back to Burnley. Is there no smoke without fire on things like that? Is there a bit of interest there? I know you don't like to talk about other clubs' players.
And I wouldn't want to. I'm not going to comment. I never really engage in that really. So yeah, I'm not in a place. And if I was, or when I am in a place to discuss players, it'll be when they're actually in the building, mate.
Yeah, East Lancashire derby, quite a big deal. Yeah. You might have noticed. What was it like to experience it firsthand in August and see it and hear it and feel it, when I'm absolutely sure as soon as you took this job, it was probably the first thing most people talked to you about?
Yeah, it certainly was. It was obviously a massive focus, and certainly a conversation which I was having on a regular basis when I first took the job. And the game, what came around, didn't surprise me in any way, to be quite honest with you. I probably had a feeling about how intense the game would be, and what it meant to our fans, and I probably see that firsthand really. So I expect nothing different. I understand the magnitude of this game for our fan base and us as a football club, and that local rivalry. And yeah, as always, mate, we'll be going there as best prepped as we can, and understanding what this means to our supporters and our fans, and trying to deliver a performance, one which shows a real work ethic and a desire, and hopefully we bring a real quality about us that we can go and get the 3 points.
You always want to win. All professionals always want to win. It's a daft thing to say, but does a game with a rivalry like this attached and all that history bring a different sort of pressure or expectation? Burnley fans, for example, we haven't lost against Blackburn Rovers since 2010. We don't want to lose against them now, that kind of thing.
It can do. I think it can, definitely. And we're a young team, and in these big games, sometimes you're right that the main thing is getting the 3 points and winning, and getting the bragging rights over the opposition, and that'll be no different to the weekend's game really. So as always, of course, that's the main focus, and I think also a main focus for us is having an understanding, and us as a group and the players having a real understanding of what this means to our people really, and be under no illusions that I'll explain exactly that to this group like we did in the home game, and like we have done, but there's probably a little bit added here to this weekend, and we'll be fully ready for that.
Your fans will, of course, travel in all the numbers they're allowed to, but it will be a hostile environment going to Ewood Park. Is that something that's another factor that you have to deal with? People will look at what happened with Hannibal yesterday and trying to keep a lid on things. Is that really important for your players, dealing with that environment?
Definitely important, for sure. It's a key thing. While they often say you want to be on the line, you never want to cross it, and I include our fans and the players in that really. We all need to be responsible, and certainly we need to have a level of emotional detachment in certain moments to stay focused and stay at the best. And of course these derbies and the atmosphere, what is going to be generated here, can bring something different sometimes, and as long as people are not crossing the line in terms of my players, it will be key.
Just as far as Blackburn Rovers are concerned, they're right on the cusp of those playoff places. I think they're only outside the top 6 on goal difference. What have you made of them in the time since you played them, kind of up to the present point?
Well, they've done very well. They've had they've just come off the back of a run of games where they've obviously had some wins as well. So a tough opposition as always down in this division, and the game and what the game brings to both teams, obviously that's going to be added as well. So yeah, like always, we'll be ready for the challenge what going to face us, and no doubt they will be as well.
And is it fair to say that more than any other fixture, your big derby rivalry, it probably actually doesn't matter about the previous form, does it?
No, probably not, mate. Probably that goes right out the window. And the most important thing is that we go and put in a performance at the weekend, and we come out victorious, hopefully. And that's the key, and that's the most important thing.
And I know you've touched on the game yesterday and what perhaps didn't go right for you. Is it heartening in some ways that when you're not hitting the heights and when you're not doing the things you know you're capable of, because you've had so much of that defensive solidity and strength and doing those things right, you're sort of getting a minimum of a point from these games?
Yeah, it is. And the fine margins of of this division, and us currently was the previous game. With a week before that, we go to Sheffield United, and it's an incredible performance. And the fine margins are that now this one is, there's probably we're all seeing it a little bit different. So I think you're right, and we've built a defensive structure here and a mentality about us that we're very hard to beat and break down, and that's given us a foundation in games to gain points. Now we need 3 points. Stoke was a game that we wanted to go into, and every game we go into is an opportunity for us, and our ambition is to always win every game we play. But you're right, if you can't win, you don't want to lose, and like I said, currently we're in a good place when it comes to that.
And how much pride is everybody taking in the clean sheets at the moment? I can take no credit for the following fact. I read it earlier and I've blatantly stolen it. 16 clean sheets in total this season. The club record for a whole season is 21. You're already really close to that. Are you wearing it like a badge of honour at the moment, that defensive strength?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. That is exactly it. This is not just a defensive structure built around a keeper and a back unit. This is a whole team, and it's something that we represent, or it represents us. It's a tattoo. It's that us understanding as a group of men what's expected of us when we're without the ball, the organisation, and the work ethic and commitment that one brings, really. And for sure, it's something we constantly referencing, and it's something we should be proud of, because to do what we've done defensively at this moment in time is very, very good, and it's something, like I said, we should be very proud of.